When I click into reports, there are 3 categories of reports. The first category is full school reports. The data in these reports is based directly on the objectives that we've tagged in our observations, so these reports don't take into account any changes we've made in the assessment area. The next group down are observation reports. These contain more details of the observations themselves. At the bottom here we've got assessment reports, and these are based on the data that we've been working with in the assessment area. Let's start by looking at the ones at the top. The first of these is framework coverage and progress. When you click on it, you get a screen like this, and in the left-hand side you can set up your filters. So I want to look at development matters, and I'm going to select the expressive arts and design, early learning goals. And I'm going to set a start date at the beginning of the academic year in this case. We'll put the 1st of September. And the end date we've got to think about, because if we want to include the current snapshot data, we need to put an end date in that's past the end of the current snapshot. So I'm in March, the current snapshot for me is Spring 2, and term ends in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm going to choose a date after the end of the snapshot. I'm just going to pick a date in the holidays there, and that will bring in the data from the beginning of Autumn 1 until now. And then I'm going to add my learners. So I'm going to add blackbirds, and I particularly want to look at Bob and Jacob. So for these learners, I want to look at their framework coverage progress in these areas between these dates. I click here to generate the report, and once this has happened, the report will appear in this area down here. I can click on the PDF to view it. What can we see here? We can see a page for Bob, and if I scroll down, I can see a page for Jacob. On each page there is a table, and this table reflects the coverage for Bob of expressive arts and design in early learning goals between the dates I selected. So in this academic year, we can see that we've taken observations that show that Bob has covered 33% of the objectives in that area by the end of Autumn 1, and at the end of Autumn 2 he'd covered no more of the objectives in those areas, but by Spring 1 he'd covered a few more, and Spring 2 a few more again, and we'd expect in Summer 1 and Summer 2 to see further coverage of the additional objectives in that area, therefore achieving 100% of the category by the end of the academic year. If we scroll down, we can see that Jacob's a little bit ahead of that, because he has observations that show coverage of 33% of objectives in Autumn 1, more in Autumn 2, the same as that in Spring 1, but coverage increases to 100% in Spring 2. Remember, this isn't attainment in these areas, it's the percentage of coverage of objectives in that area that we've got observations to evidence. And if we look at the next report, the Teach Next report, we should see some of that reflected in here. So if we go to Expressive Arts and Design and the Early Learning Goals, start date, I'm going to again go for the beginning of the academic year, and I'm again going to go for a date after the end of the current snapshot period as the end date. And then I'm going to add in the learners and click to create the report. Now when I look at the PDF report, I can see here that the average coverage I've got observations for across the 2 learners is 92%, and underneath I can see the least covered objectives in that area for those children. And the next one down is the coverage tracker report. Again, that should reflect the data that we've just been talking about, so I'm going to select the same filters: Expressive Arts and Design, Early Learning Goals, the same start date, the 1st of September, and the same end date after the end of the snapshot. And then I'm going to add in my learners, blackbirds, Bob and Jacob, then apply and generate this report. Now this will show us in exactly how many observations we've tagged these learners against these objectives. So you can see here that Jacob has got at least 1 observation evidencing these objectives. And this particular objective, he's got 2. 1 is amber and 2 are green. 2 or more will show as green. And then we've got a gap here where Bob doesn't have any evidence of covering this objective. Underneath the coverage tracker, you'll see it's downloadable as a CSV. So the one we just looked at here, you can download as a CSV and open in spreadsheet software such as Excel. So those ones we've looked at use the data from the observations you've taken to help you plan. These next ones are more details of the observations that you've taken. This is an example of the Learner Observation Report. It contains details of the observations that the learner's been tagged in. Features of the report include the title, the profile picture of the learner's name, the date for which the report is produced, the organisation's logo, and the organisation's name. If we scroll down into the report, you can see that each observation contains the date, the photographs associated with it, who it was observed by, and the aspects that contributed to the experience, the objectives you have tagged, and any next steps objectives you may also have added. Many organisations like to customise this template to include their organisation logo, and some like to adjust the detail that's pulled through to the report. Let's go back to the web suite to see how to set these up. To start with, we'll select Learners to check we're happy with the profile pictures that will appear on the front covers. To do this, select the learner and click on the Edit pen at the top, and on the left-hand side here you'll see where the profile picture is set. Now we'll have a look in the administration area, where you can set your organisation name and edit the template to add your logo. Here to the left you'll see your organisation listed. If the name isn't as you want it to appear on the cover, you can edit it and save the changes. Then on the left-hand side in the menu, you'll see report templates. At the top you can see there's a standard teacher observation template and a standard parent one. You can click to download a template and then open it up in Word. Have a look through. You can see the title, you can see the field which pulls through the learner profile, and beneath that you can see the logo. If you want to swap this out for your organisation logo, you can simply delete it and then insert your logo and resize it to your preference. You can then scroll down to edit the observation part of this template. You can see clearly the fields that are pulled through, and if you don't want any, you can delete them. You can then save your version of the template ready for uploading into Evidence.me. Back in Evidence.me, you need to upload new custom template and browse for the file on your computer. Once it's uploaded, you'll be able to start creating your personalised learner observation reports. For more help or for a wider range of customisable templates, return to the Evidence.me Web Suite homepage and click on Help. Choose Evidence.me and let it know you're a staff user. On the left-hand side, under Reports, under Observation Reports, you'll see you can click on Learner Observation. On the right-hand side, you'll see more details of learner observation reports, and for more information on how to edit templates, you can click here. If I scroll down, I can find a useful table which tells me which information is pulled through from which field in the template. This can help me decide which ones to keep. Beneath this, it also gives me different options for template downloads. A popular one includes the More Observations per Page download, so you can fit more observations on one page of the report. Once you're all set up, you can start generating the reports. You can do this by clicking on Print from the home page, or by clicking on Reports in the menu on the left, and then scrolling down and selecting Learner Observation Report. Either way, you get to the same screen and you can set the filters for your report. You can choose the framework, the category, the objective level, set the dates. You can choose to include only observations tagged for parent viewing if you like, and then select your custom template. You can choose whether you want the report in PDF or Word format, and for it to generate a zip file of PDFs if you like to. I'm going to untick this because I'm just going to add one learner here for this example. Once you've selected your learner, it will tell you how many observations the report will contain. You can then click to generate and the report will appear underneath. You can click on it to open it up and view it. Beneath the learner observation report, you've got the parent contact report. This literally shows you all the contact with parents between two dates. So with this one, I'm going to add in a start date, again the beginning of the academic year, and today. And I've actually added all classes to this one, so I'm going to click to generate the report. Now this isn't a real school I'm demonstrating from, so I don't have much interaction with parents, but if I open up the PDF you can see the sort of report you get. If I zoom in a bit, you'll see you literally get a table showing the total number of observations you shared with parents, how many parents responded, any parent postcards. These are the observations that parents have taken and submitted, and they come into you, and the last parent login. The next one below is the Next Steps Objectives report. With this one you put in your start and end date and add the learners. I'm going to add all learners and classes, and then click Generate to generate the report. The report looks a bit like this. For each student you get any next steps objectives that you've added to observations as you've gone along, and any comments you've made. The next report will show you all the observations counted between two dates. So again, from the 1st of September until now, all learners, I can generate the report. You'll be able to see that it just gives a count of observations taken. And the technical status report you only run if you're required to by 2Simple support. And the last set of reports are your assessment reports. These are the ones that take into account the changes you've made in the assessment area. The top one of these is the assessment levels for all learners. Set the filters to your requirements, remembering to use an end date of a date after the end of the current snapshot if you want the data up to now. Then add your learners and click to generate the report. Once the report is generated, you click down here as previously, and this is what the report looks like. You've got the date range at the top here and the area of the framework, and then you've literally got a list of pupils that are currently emerging, pupils that are, in this case, developing, and pupils that are secure, and the percentage totals. So if you want just a quick overview of who is where in terms of attainment against a particular area, then this is the report for you. Don't forget you set the names of the judgments up in the assessment area before you start, so yours may differ to this. The second assessment report we've got is the Early Learning Goals report. There's no framework filtering, it only uses development matters, so you literally just choose who you want to create the report for. The report generates in a PDF format, and this is what it looks like. On the left-hand side, you can see all of the areas within the framework, and you can see the child's attainment alongside it. To the right-hand side, you can see a summary of what the child can do, based on their attainment in a particular area. So under listening, attention and understanding, Jacob is working towards. Based on the objectives in these categories, this is what Jacob is able to do. The table is repeated on the left-hand side of each page, but different areas of the framework are detailed alongside it to the right. The next report down is the EYFS Cohort Assessment Report. So this looks at how closely groups of learners are matching their age-related expectations. To use this report and the next one down, the end-of-year version, children must have their date of births in Evidence Me. To do this, you need to check your learners area. You can select the children and click Edit, and then check the date of births are in here. Once you've done that, you can use the reports. Let's have a look at what they look like. So you put the filters in here as we've done previously, and then add the learners, and click to generate. And the reports appear underneath here, and you can click on the PDF to view them. So you can see the key here. You've got a percentage bar, and you can use this to see the proportion of children that are working below age-related expectation in red, at in amber, and above in green. As you can see here, for this communication and language one, I've got 40% working at, and 60% working above age-related expectation. You can see more details here underneath. This report shows the details of only the children that have assessment against that area of the framework in the assessment area, so if they haven't, they won't be part of the percentage bar. So beneath this, you've got the EYFS Assessment Progress Report. When I click on this, I can set the filters up as I did before. I'm going to add a date after the end of the current framework so that I can see the data up to now, and then I'm going to add the same learners as before and click to generate the report. Now this is what I can see. I've got a page for each learner. This page is for Jacob. I can see all areas of the framework here, and I can see his attainment against the early learning goals over here on the right. Now if I just zoom in, I'll see here that communication and language was assessed at being developing on the 24th of the 10th 25. He was assessed at being secure on the 31st of the 12th. So he achieved a developing judgment at the end of the first snapshot, at the end of Autumn 1, and a secure judgment at the end of Autumn 2. You can see different dates here based on their attainment in the different terms, so this is their progress report. The next one down is the Birth to 5 Matters EYFS Assessment Progress Report. This is generated very much like the previous one. You select your filters and then create the report. You'll see there's not much data in this report, but I can see Henry is in range 4 for this term for sense of self. The more data I have in the assessment area, the better populated this table will be. These last few are CSV reports. These are reports you can download from Evidence Me and open in spreadsheet software. This first one is literally a learner list, containing learner name, date of birth and UPN. This one here is the assessment progress between assessment periods, so it's a bit like this one here. And the one at the bottom is all your assessment for particular learners up to a particular end date. So these ones you create using the same sort of filters. I just filled in this from September to the end of the current snapshot, and I'm going to add a particular class and create it. And when I click on this button this time, it will download a CSV file, which I can then open up in Excel so I see the details of the learners and where they are in expressive arts and design. And that brings us to the end of the reports. Now you'll find that you're not going to use every single one of these. Some of them might work for you better than others, depending on how you do assessment or share learning stories in your setting. But hopefully that's helped give you a bit of an overview of what reports are available.